and welcome back here with Nevet1212 and his buddy Matt. We are in Zora's domain. We just unfroze it using the piece of lava rock from Goron Mines. And Matt, how are you doing today?
Oh, fine. Though, I was so tempted to cut you off in the introduction to say this is Matt with special guest Seth Rogen.
No one knows what I look like with this beard.
Yeah, but people, I'm telling you right now, I'm not even kidding. Anyone who knows Seth Rogen, basically he has like the sort of like chin beard with the with like glasses and like curly hair. Again, you kind of have that look going on right now.
Well, the lady likes it, so
Yeah, no,
that's all that
I understand. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, yeah, you're definitely rocking that look. So, yeah, we just unfroze Sora's domain, and now we can finally get to the bug hunt.
yes, the old bug hunt, and of course the HD version does make it a lot better. And I
Yeah,
feel like this is the one that feels the most shortened, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. I'll definitely say right now, of all the, you know, of all the ones, this kind of felt the most, and this probably took me the longest to complete in the Wii version because it seems like I don't know the other bugs were I feel like were more crap. I would say I don't know how to say I want to use the word craftily hidden, but I don't know. It really felt like this section was a bit more tedious than the others, and than it had than it had to be.
Well, of course, it's also annoying when you have to leave, one area and go to Hyrule Castle Town. That this is definitely the largest area to which bugs are put across, but this
Yeah,
is the largest part of the map so far.
yeah. That being said, when the first time you did this, did you see that that last giant bug coming?
I didn't. I wasn't thinking that was going to be the case. I mean, it makes sense. It's the last bug of bunch.
Yeah, for some reason
But
I just didn't foresee that they would make the last bug a little mini boss kind of thing.
I wasn't. It's not something I expected, but it makes sense.
Hey, it does. I'm saying like definitely. I knew something was fishy when like we got like when you get all but one. Midnight goes, huh? Where are all the bugs? Like, oh wait, there's one by the lake. You should go check that out.
Yeah, it's like, how did we miss that one? These two guys are always annoying. I always hate it when you jump to get the first one and you hit a wall and then you don't get the second. That's the part that always pisses me off.
You know, wolf combat is kind of neat, but one thing that's kind of lame is that really especially when you're fighting the shadow beast, there's really no reason to use any of your attacks except the lock on one.
Yeah, it's like with the sword, it makes sense to hit B, to do your attacks, but usually when you attack, I always hit A, the main button. Like, whenever I did in the Wii version, you waggle the Wiimote to get that, to do like basic attacks in wolf form, but I always felt like that didn't make much sense, so I always just
Yeah,
hit A.
yeah. With okay, well, when I say lock on, I mean basically, I meant like that attack you do with like
Oh,
yeah, the inst. Basically, if enemy gets caught in it, it instantly dies.
okay, so Midna's assisted attack.
Yeah, that's why I think that's what I meant to say. I just didn't phrase it right. But it's especially.
Well,
It feels like most combat as the wolf. It really feels like that's the attack they want you to use most often, especially against the shadow beasts. Basically, any other attack as the wolf is almost like, I don't think it. No one really does it.
yeah, I mean, you have to use it at the end, unless you can do a spin attack really well. But use the same. You have to hold it in this version. Well, no, I guess you can do the quick circle pad, make a spin attack, but it would be difficult to do that well, I should say. You would do it easily, I guess.
Now, I don't know if we talked about this, but in terms of Zelda's done like alternate world mechanics, like whether it's Link to the Past, Light World, Dark World, Ocarina of Time's Past and Future. I mean, in terms of like the alternate worlds, how do you feel like the Twilight Realm versus like the Realm of Light?
Well, I like it. It's not that it's so much different. They're not really, all that different from one another. But it is nice to, actually, I'm gonna warp. I can. Again, it's a little odd doing this with the Wii U. I'm always confused because, I memorized pretty much how to do everything on the Wii version. And I played it so many times, and then when I made the Abridged series, I played it even more. It's one of those things that you kind of forget.
I have a random idea for the final episode of this.
What's that?
Editing Ganon Slayer when we get to Ganon, just because of course.
Well, wouldn't be that difficult. I'll have many hours of footage once we're done all this.
Yep. Yeah, I forget what's like the name of that one guy who regularly comments on these.
Well, Manuel.
Yeah.
Or Manuel.
Or since
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Well, all I know it's like we've established that these unfortunately don't have a particularly large audience. So Manuel, cheers to you. Just you take the time.
I'm sure he thought it was bad enough when Gino was talking about it, but now it's even worse with you and.
Well, I'm being nice about it. I'm saying like, hey.
I jest.
It's like I think Gino was a bit more savage than me, but again, I think Gino is just more savage than me. Period.
He is a savage individual.
One of these days, if we can somehow make it work, all three of us need to do a thing. But I don't know, like we already have a weird thing how we record as it is.
Well, it wouldn't be any different because it would just mean I'd have to get 3 audio files instead of just. Oh wait, I gotta listen to this. Okay. Well, he would look at the screen just like you are through the same camera, and I'd be recording the same way.
Well, I know it's maybe get with him sometime, see if he's like open for a 3-way.
Ooh, phrasing.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
I bet you did, you sick bastard.
I kind of like this wherever the hell you are when you do the wolf thing. Like, it's some sort of ethereal realm.
Yeah, kind of like it's probably purgatory for for Link because it's like he's stuck here until he dies. So it's like partially Hyrule, but it's also partially. Oh wait, that's weird. This must be only on the Wii U, but if you see where my iris is, there's a horseshoe. And there's one there too, and it looks like there's horseshoes wherever there's horseshoe grass. So if you need to call Epona, you know where you need to do it. Huh.
Or better, or you know what are you talking about now? What you're supposed to do is you wait till near the end of the game where you get the whistle, and then you can call Epona all you want.
That's right. Because you know, you need her at the end of the game, not at the beginning, at the end.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking, what were they?
What were they thinking?
Yeah, it's like, but they give you an item that, by the time you get it, it's useless. You know.
Seriously.
And it's kind of thing like they couldn't think of a way to get you that at an earlier point. Like if they wanted to, I understand. Like in the early game, that might not. Like, I think mid game that probably would have been a better time.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a fair compromise.
I mean, it's a whole plot point that they do, so I can understand why they leave it to the end.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why it has to be so far at the end.
Yeah, it's like basically, I think it could work. It would have to. It's not. I have nothing. I kind of like the plot thing behind it. So basically, I think you just need to rewrite it, so maybe that somehow you could do that moment earlier in the story.
Yeah. One of the things that I really thought you'd be able to do it, but I had the idea that you find horseshoe grass, or they just call it horse grass, just shaped like a horseshoe. But jeez, I keep doing that. That's gonna make for a bad Let's Play. I thought you'd be able to store it in a bottle, and then use it whenever you want it. And that would have worked. Like, imagine you know, grab your bottle, you get like 5 things of grass, and each time you use it, you're one less. Kind of like the way you get larvae in this game.
Yeah.
But of course, no, that doesn't make any sense. Man, if this was Breath of the Wild, you'd be able to swim in that moat.
Yeah, and then drowned. Because I used all your... I don't know, early game, I think I drowned several times because... I mean, it's really easy to drown in early game when you don't have a lot of stamina.
Yeah, and then for me also it was just like I was like, no, you can't drown just by swimming. It's like only if you dash, and it's like no, even if you're not dashing, you drown.
Yeah, it's basically if you run out of stamina in any body of water that you swim in. Oh wait, here we go. I was like, huh? We missed one?
Should be one. Where could that last one be? Wait. There it is. What's going on? This is weird. But yeah, if you're swimming, you can drown. Which, I get it. It's the limitation of the game. So you can't swim anywhere. Because there are areas where you could just swim to. Like, if you wanted to swim to an island.
I think one thing I tried doing, remember that one shrine that's way out in the ocean? I think I tried an experiment once just to see if I could. I kept using cryosis, the ice thing to perpetually just go. I think eventually I got so bored I gave up on it, but I think if you had enough patience, you probably theoretically could make an ice bridge out there.
Well, that's what I usually do. I mean, you can only make 3 at a time, obviously, but the key to do it is to be really far and jump and glide. You know, instead of just
I did it from the coast just to see if I could. Like I started from the coast, and
you can go all the way until it says, you can go no further. There's a point where it says you can't go any further.
Well, I know that, but I was just trying to reach. My whole point is it. Oh well, hello,
He's
little.
so beautiful.
I still. They never give an explanation for why this bug is like this. Like in terms of a game, it's like, hey, this is the last one. We gotta make it into like a little mini boss. Because I don't understand, like, I don't know if they give like an actual reason why this one is like is giant.
No, they don't really, do they? Wait, what does Midna say? Anything? What is that thing? I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
I hate creepy things like that. Do something fast.
Yeah, I think now that I think about it, I think we haven't been, showcasing a lot of her comments during bosses.
Honestly, I never talked to her during bosses.
Well, I always did it, but I told you my obsessive. Basically, anytime something advances the plot, or during a boss fight, I would always talk to her just to see what she says, because sometimes she. It was like Midnight is much. We've talked about like Navi and whatnot, and Midnight basically she's much more expressive. Like she has more. Like yes, a lot. She gives tips and advice, but basically her dialogue is just much more colorful.
Yeah. Also, you can actually kind of like see a reaction, where with Navi it's just a floating ball, so you can't really see anything.
Yep, and now that's one dead bug.
One big old dead bug.
And say goodbye to the Twilight sections, everybody, because they're
Yay, it's done.
Yeah, unfortunately we won't, because I really like the look of them, but sadly you kind of see the last of them basically at the halfway point of the game. I didn't know before the halfway, because I forget, what do you consider the halfway point?
When you get the Master Sword.
Yeah, and this happened. You still have a whole temple before that, so that before halfway through the game, you're kind of finished this whole bit. Yeah.
And now we get to see a really creepy cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to it in a second, but
Let's see this giant eel snake thing.
Yeah, I might ask you more when we get there. But what do you think of the Lake Bed Temple?
I like the Lake Bed Temple. I don't think it's as annoying as people make it out to be.
I remember that was the temple where the first temple where I had to bust out the guide because I got so confused with its like lever system. I mean, it's not as bad as like again Water Temple and Ocarina of Time, but I still got it. This is the point why I just got stumped.
Yeah. I do like how this kind of hints at, the origins of Hyrule with the 3 goddesses. Doesn't really go into it.
Yeah.
But it's just talking about how, they created the world.
Yeah, because this whole bit is literally
life.
like a recreation of the story of the great. Right down to that graphic, like that with the lights kind of swooping on the land. Like this is this is basically just that sequence, just prettier.
And it's much quicker too.
Yeah. Also, I never understood why this sequence used like Link and Ilya as like.
I think it's just to symbolize that it could be any person, like anyone, is tempted by the power of the Triforce.
Yep. And again, I really wish in New Game Plus you could just wear that outfit, but again, for some reason they thought to do that in Wind Waker, but unfortunately they didn't think about that here.
Yeah. Of course, this is talking about the Twilly, but
you know, I really hope,
strange.
I really hope Nintendo does something with the Twilly in the future. Like, they would have to think of a good narrative reason, but I'm definitely very open to the possibility of the Twilly and the Twilight Realm making some kind of return.
And I think it's strange that, you know, the goddesses ordered 3 light spirits to do it when there are 4.
Yeah.
Oh, scary. You know this magic. The fused shadow. And Link is drunk.
No, he's stoned. And here's the trip out scene.
Physics don't work this way. He's always barefoot.
And now we are in a 70s acid Beatles video.
How about that?
Yeah, I might with you, Link. You just went on a little bit of a trip there. And you know, one thing that's throwing me off. I am not used to seeing Link wear the Ordon shield by this point in the game, because I always have the Hylian shield by this part.
I know, and I would have it too if I thought about it. But what we are going to do is, oh, of course I went the wrong way. When we head to Hyrule Castle, I'll pick up some bugs, give them to Agatha, get enough money to actually buy the Hylian shield in Castletown.
I mean, it's interesting because I never bought it in Castletown ever. I didn't even know if you can, because the whole joke about the store in Castletown was that everything's so expensive you can't afford it, and that's why
you don't buy it in that store.
Well, where would you? Because I guess this will be a learning experience, because I never bought it in Castletown because I always had it by now.
Yeah, I'll show you where you get it. It might be a new place that you've never seen before.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it seems like in this Let's Play, I see some new things, and again, I showed you a few things you didn't know, like that one bit in the inn.
Yeah, very interesting part, I have to say.
Yeah, again, like I only know about this because anytime something, I just kind of always checked on a lot of characters after plot stuff happened, just to see, because a lot of them. You'd be surprised how many characters have new dialogue after a set of specific events.
Oh, and the other thing I'm going to show you, I'll show you what happens when you don't talk to the people in Telma's bar. You know, Shad and Aru and Ashy. Because if you talk to them, there's different dialogue when you're in wolf form after the fact. And it's very interesting, and you'll love it to bits.
Yeah, it's like I said, I've never done that, so that'd be something new to see.
Trying to find a bug. I haven't caught a bug yet.
I know there was one you could have gotten from the graveyard in Kakariko.
I know, and then it's the female and male ant are the ones that are in Kakariko, but I'll catch this butterfly. I can't remember if the first thing Ashy gives, not Ashy, the first thing that, what's her name?
Agatha.
Yes, it was on the tip of my tongue.
I want to say the first thing she gives you is the big wallet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So I'll have to get the other bug on the other side of Hyrule Castle. Oh shoot. It's been so long I forgot which move I learned last. I always liked these moves, the ones that are coming up, the back slice and
the
one after.
Yeah, that one's is really handy.
Because this reminds me a lot of, the parry attack in Wind Waker. When I first played Wind Waker and, you do those parries and you roll around the enemy, that blew my mind. I'll leave a pony there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the postman's gonna make a unscheduled visit. Right on cue. He just did the other one. The do.
Yeah, I'm not... yeah, it's like, I've never been fully sure if it's random or it depends on the letter.
That's something that I would have to look up, because I do not know. It always kind of annoyed me that you can't look at people in Hyrule Castle Town.
Yeah.
People just running around doing shit.
Yeah.
And guards just moseying through.
Yeah, so, how similar would you say the layout of this castle town is compared to Ocarina of Times?
Well, Ocarina of Times does have kind of like a courtyard area. Not courtyard. Not the right word. The marketplace is kind of similar, where there's a big like square area outside or in the center, and then there are alleys around the back. And the one thing that I get, but I'd always like to see more of, is a more in-depth castle town. And that's kind of what you get in Majora's Mask with Clock Town.
Yeah,
but, of course, it's different.
It's kind of that's one thing. I know we've talked about a lot of stuff we want to see in, like, the next, like, big Zelda. I definitely want at least one city. Like, as in, like, a big, detailed city area.
Oh, yeah. I'd like, an area with a lot of people and who actually have interesting things to say.
Yeah. It seems like the side characters, there aren't really a lot of memorable ones. Like, Well, you see, it seems like the only memorable ones are ones that or have some kind of relation to the main plot, like the champions, or like Impa and her granddaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones. Again, they're I actually, you
I
know,
mean, it is kind of interesting if you talk to people in Kakugo Village, especially. You learn about the girl who lost her mother and the man who divorced his wife over chickens.
yeah. I mean, there are bits of characterization like that. It's like it seems like I said there was effort, but I definitely am hoping. I feel like they were on the right track. I just feel like they just have to, work on putting a bit more characterization in.
Hey, are you ready to see where you buy the Hylian shield?
Yeah.
Well, it's not in the shop. It's over here.
Okay. I'm trying to remember if I've ever been in here. No, I can probably say I probably didn't even know this. Well, what do you know, Neri? I think you showed me a place I've never.
And that's where you buy the Hylian shield if you don't want it in Kakugo Village. It's a whole 10 rupees more expensive.
Well, I think in this game, there's really, you don't. Basically, I think you're always looking for an excuse to, like just spend rupees.
Yeah. But in here, there's several Gorons. They all sell things. He sells lantern oil.
I don't know how I missed this, but
And then there's one guy up here.
well, people, congratulations! I've officially seen something new. Like as in, I don't know, I legit never knew this was here.
And this is the one area where you can actually look around. So you kind of see, like, you can see the houses. Some are stone, some are wood. And if I had the Hawkeye, I think I could actually use the Hawkeye up here, but you might not be able to.
Well, I gotta say right now that they did a pretty good job in this game of making Castletown feel populated.
Yeah, even if it's populated by the same, like, 5-10 people.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. But this game came out in 2006, when I don't know, I think a lot of games, especially when the hardware was on, I think they just couldn't have a lot of as many unique NPCs in bulk as other platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're still pretty impressive. I say it was for the Wii. No, Wii and GameCube rather, because again, this was developed for the GameCube.
Yep.
And also going back to Breath of the Wild, that game, I think that game is even more impressive when you think of it was made with the Wii, for the Wii U, and I think that game really shows what the Wii U is for. That game is definitely the Wii U swan song, I gotta say.
It is.
I mean, it's overshadowed by the.
Hold that thought. Okay, as you were saying?
I'm saying like it was overshadowed by the Switch port, much as again with it's very appropriate to say that we're playing this game because the same thing happened with Twilight Princess, where the GameCube version was overshadowed by the Wii port.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold that thought.
Alright, sorry about the interruptions, guys. She doesn't recognize me.
Alright, the moment if she turns around, I want you to put in the clip from Monty Python.
Which clip? You have to be more specific.
She has huge the land.
She's beautiful, she's rich, she's got huge tracts of land.
From Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
You'll have to do that one yourself, my friend.
How? You're the one editing this.
I don't have enough time to get that part of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Sir Lancelot's Tale, time code 1 hour and 30 minutes. It'd be funny if that was actually the actual time. It was. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we were talking about. No, I think we recently talked about like Sia and people. Zelda characters were sexualized in the main games long before Team Ninja ever was in the equation. First of all, look at Telma. Look at that. Clearly, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see her brassiere, for God's sakes.
Yeah, not to mention we can even go further back than this because, well, again, it was on the N64, so she looked like a Lego person, but the Great Fairy.
Yeah, the Great Fairy, definitely. Yeah, it's funny because you know John Oliver.
Yeah.
He has a show called Last Week Tonight, and in one of his segments, he said he was talking about Donald Trump, as most late night talk shows do.
Yeah.
But he said, if someone asks you a question and you say nothing and walk away, you're pretty sure you know what the answer is. Like, if somebody asked, were you sexually aroused by the fairies in Ocarina of Time, and you said nothing and walked away, you know what the answer is. And it had a picture of, the fairy from Ocarina of Time.
Yep.
Of course, I say Ocarina, but, that's because I'm stupid.
Yeah. But anyway, we're not at the bit where we have to escort them. And look, it's our old pal.
Yeah, King Golden. And guys, there's already been audio distortion on my part, and there will continue to be audio distortion because I let the cats out of their hole.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna laugh if they end up unplugging your mic like they did in that one video.
Well, they didn't unplug my mic, but they, hit the cord and made a distortion in the recording. And that's already happened. So I apologize, I can't take that out. But, well, I could, but I'm not going to. I just realized that Telma has not only a nose piercing, but, a piercing near her chin.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, seeing her again, she actually doesn't look as bad in the face as I remember. I remember having a sort of a butter face, but she says she's actually not that unattractive, to be honest.
No.
Yes.
Out of all the characters in this game, Telma's not. Her character design isn't unattractive.
Yeah, but yeah, so I guess even my point exactly. Like, I think with Sia, maybe it was the costume or something. But people but again, so many people acted like Sia was the first time there's ever been a slightly sexualized character in Zelda, and that's simply not true.
No, it's not. Not even close.
Yeah, and like I said, and at the end of the game, we get again like while Midna's figure is not quite like stacked. She basically again
I mean, look at King Bulbin. Look at his tits. They're just out there for anybody
Yeah.
to see.
I mean, it seems like Midna just still has quite the figure, and also again, you look at her, she's clearly showing a lot of skin, like more than I probably thought they would. I love this time around. You just kind of poke him with some arrows, and he just falls off.
Yep, 2 whole arrows. And the cat is right near the microphone. I feel bad because I have to keep grabbing the cat and trying to hold him, but he does not want to be held. I just threw a ball, and I was trying to get the one cat to run at it, but the other cat did.
Very good you were able to catch that key as he was falling down. And by that I mean like it literally leaped up as he was falling. Like it's not like it fell off him and you caught. No, he fell down the bridge and it magically just leaped up from him into your hands.
Yes.
Because of course.
Oh my goodness. Get out of there. Get out of there. My cat is, again, messing around. Doing all sorts of shit. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. The cat's like trying to make love to the microphone. Oh. This will all be in the video, guys. I edited some stuff out, but this is being kept.
Yep. So, what do you think of this sequence?
Well, I was going to say, the first time I ever did this sequence, I didn't realize that you could put the fire out.
Yeah, I didn't either. I forget, like, I forget if maybe Midna gives you a hint, or eventually I figured out that you can use the Gale Boomerang to put out the fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
That does make sense because it is wind. So I can understand how you could put that together yourself.
Shit.
I mean, I didn't the first time, but you know, I can see the logic there. It's a wind-based item, and
yes, and it does make sense that that they would be able to.
Oh my god!
Okay, guys, this is gonna be an inside joke because Matt is looking at a camera. He got to see my cats run across the screen.
Okay, you know what? Just so at that moment, see if you can do this. I want you to edit a cat just going across the screen. Like, it could be like a paper cutout cat. I don't know. Just kind of have it go across the screen at that moment.
Alright. I was gonna try to post this video sooner rather than later, but since Matt's asking for all these special effects, they're gonna be... No, the effects are gonna be added in. All the effects. Everything you want. It'll be in the video. Paper cutout cat, huge tracts of land.
Okay, you don't have to really do that one, but if you do...
everything.
Okay, if you do one, please do the cat, because that was just beautiful, and I want the viewers to see some kind of representation of that.
Yes, it will be done.
Again, we're talking over the story bit, but that was beautiful.
Well, guys, if you haven't played this game, if you don't know the story, watch my abridged series, because it says everything you need to know.
Well, I know that, but honestly, since this is a commentary, I try to actually commentate on what's going on, but that...
Oh, it's not a commentary.
This is basically just a glorified podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Nevet records footage, and Matt talks over it.
Yep. Actually, so basically, this is less a let's play, and it's more a let's drown out. That's actually like a thing. You know, zero punctuation.
I'm not familiar with zero punctuation.
Well, it's a review show done by a guy called Ben Yahtzee Croshaw, and for a while he actually did a series of videos called Let's Drown Out. It was literally just him and his friend. It was like a podcast. It was basically kind of a podcast format where they basically just talked over, like, they would play games, but you know, essentially it's kind of what we're doing, where it's like it's less a commentary and more like we're just sort of you know, just kind of talking about whatever.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. My cat's trying to mess around with the freaking mic cord. I have a terrible setup for this right now, guys. I apologize. And here, look. Link stares right at her tits.
Yeah, they're not even being subtle. Like, how... You know, it's like... How else can you interpret that? His eyes are clearly going down.
True. And it's like, oh, he's looking at the hand. Like, nope. No, he's not. He did it again!
Yeah, people... They knew what they were doing.
He's a young boy.
And again, like...
I have a question for you, Matt.
Yeah?
What's funnier? Boobs or tits?
I don't know. It depends on... And again, like, and the one thing... Yeah, Telma really isn't an unattractive woman. Like, I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, I thought she looked... But no, like... I don't know what it is. Maybe just she looks better in the HD version, but... Thinking everything does, but... I don't know, like, yeah, fuck it.
HD. More like H double Ds, am I right?
Yeah. Oh, hello, Ghost.
Oh, come on. That should have had a better reaction.
Yeah, oh, hey, Ghost Lady. I almost forgot you were a thing.
Get off of that cord. I apologize, guys. The cats are messing around. I'm doing all sorts of mumbo jumbo, and just to say that we're gonna be doing it at the point where we get the Zora's armor, we are going to call it quits, because the cats are really trying my patience.
Oh, but this is gonna be so funny for... you know,
So, I always found it kind of strange that the Zoras have graves in Kakariko Village, which I always thought was a something reserved for the Hylian royal family. What do you think about that, Matt?
I'm not sure what to think on that. Okay, I kind of forgot why this stuff is here.
Well, this is her husband's grave.
Well, yeah, it's like, well, exactly,
And he created the garment specifically for a hero, which is Link, and then they buried him with it.
because of course.
Well, yeah, magic, that's why.
Yeah, so there we go, the Zora armor. Your blue tunic for the game.
Yes. And if you talk to Agatha with that tunic on, she says you look like a jewel beetle. But of course it has to be the first time you talk to her.
That would explain why I did not know you could do that, especially because I probably would have talked to her long before this point.
Okay, we need to find the fused shadow. Alright guys, thanks everybody for watching, and my rupees are 0007, which means I'm a triple agent, better than a double agent. And Matt, any final thoughts?
Only that I am now completely reevaluated my stance. Telma is actually, yeah, fuck it, she's hot.
Wonderful. Well, everybody have a good one, and I will see you later.